to What the Fuck Sutter number 5. This question comes from Harrison. I don't know where Harrison is from. Harrison asks, hey, I'd love to know whose idea it was to use the piece of music when Gemma is telling the family about the rape. Just a genius piece, TV history, and I just want to give mad props to the brain that came up with that nugget. That was Mary by Patty Griffin. Yes. You know, that I'm a huge fan of her music, and I never really thought I'd have an opportunity to use any of her music in the show, and I love that song and sort of the maternal instincts that it speaks to, and so I wanted to use it in that scene, and originally we were going to do a cover of it because that's what we do. You know, we very rarely do we use masters, and we actually had oh shit, I forget the woman's name. With the woman who sang "Forever Young" for us, season 1. Who's a fantastic singer who because I'm fucking retarded. I can't think of her name, but we gave her the song to sing, and she did a beautiful cover of Mary, and but ultimately there was just something about the emotionality in the original piece that really, you know, that really spoke to what was going on in that scene with Gemma, and it was one of those things where we made a decision, Bob Thiel and I, that really that the master, that original cover of that song, was really the only one that worked for that scene. So so we went with the master, and it's a beautiful song, and I thank you for considering it a piece of TV history. Let's jump into another question. This one is from, I never know if people want me to say their whole name. Let me see, I go to the bottom. Oh Christ, this is a little long fucking question. This is from Lisa. Lisa, I won't say her last name because I don't want to give away, I'll just say Lisa R, and I don't know where Lisa's from. She says, "Hiya, Kurt." Hiya, Lisa. I recently watched a doco, I guess that's a documentary, on the biker culture in Canada, and it scared the living hell out of me. I watch SOA and am fascinated by the world and the way that you portray it. I am drawn in by the brilliant character acting and compelling storylines. I really want to believe that Charming exists and that Stahl is really dead. You have masterfully conflicted my opinions on the outlaw biker culture. Watching the doco, I would not have believed that I would enjoy something glorifying, and I use the term respectfully and carefully, this presence, this culture. This presence, this culture. My question, finally, is what was your intent? You qualify that so well and in such detail, and then ask the vaguest fucking question. What was your intent? My intent is never to, I think this speaks to it. My intent is never to, my intent is never to glorify or to, you know, turn these guys, or to turn violence or crime of any kind into, you know, into a romantic or okay circumstance. I mean, for me, using the framework of the world of the outlaw community and what I've learned from it in my research and academically, you know, and then I really sort of go inside of it and I pump it up, you know, and I pump up the drama of it so that it's more compelling and it's bigger than life. So the stories that we tell, although it's rooted in reality, it's always bigger than what actually happens in the outlaw community. So, you know, it's to a certain extent, you know, it's like comparing apples and oranges. So, you know, my intent was never to glorify it. You know, I do think that there's an inherent part of that subculture that is incredibly romantic, as it speaks to our ideas of freedom and the open road and just, you know, saying fuck you to the man, and, you know, so I think it speaks to you know, to that desire in all of us, the anarchist in all of us. So I think that there's an inherent romanticism to the subculture, but my intent was never to, you know, to glorify anything. You know, it really is, you know, trying to just present the information, and rooting it in as much fact as I can, and then of course, you know, blowing up the drama so that it's compelling to watch and hopefully, you know, fun. You know, there is a definite component of this show that is you know, dark humor, and you know, to do that, you got to turn things sideways a little bit and kind of wink at it and know that it's not necessarily you know, completely real. I think the best classification for it is, you know, when I go and hang out with these guys that are in the life who, you know, fucking love the show, you know, they completely get it, and you know, they bust my balls all the time at, you know, at how over the top it is sometimes and how crazy it is, and they really consider it sort of their soap opera, you know, but it's but they fucking love it because it's rooted in the reality of it is rooted in everything that they know and everything that they live. So that's my equally long-winded answer to your long-winded question, and probably I was just as vague as you were. So thanks for sending in questions, and keep sending them in, and I will keep answering them. That's it. Thanks.